Well, hello. Welcome back to my Am I the A-hole cheating stories. So I've got some really fine one for you today. So let's dive straight in to these Am I the A-hole and see what actually happened. So I haven't pre-read them, so you're going to get my honest reaction as I am reading this. All right, so the first one says, am I the a-hole for exposing my wife's cheating and not wanting to do anything with a child that isn't mine? Well, so far that sounds kind of fair, but let us see what Reddit has to say. I mean, my mind, I don't want to make any prejudgments, but my mind says if the child knows you as daddy, it is a bit wrong to take it out on the poor baby. Let's go. So 2 weeks ago, I found out that my 5-year-old isn't biologically mine. I felt so hurt and betrayed that my wife of 6 years relationship for 9 cheated on me and even got pregnant by another man. I took a paternity test without telling my wife. And it's interesting that you've done that because I'd like to know why you decided to take a test in the first place. That is the question I need answered. I immediately confronted my wife and called her a whore in my anger and many other names. She started crying and explained that she hid it because she didn't want to break up our happy family of 3. Totally understandable, you know? I mean, okay. I don't want to make judgments, but I can see why she would do that. Probably she has a moment of lapse and she's like, you know what? I don't want to break up the relationship. I did wrong. I want to mend my ways and do right by him. So, but it's been 9 years that she's done it. Okay. Let's just continue. Okay. I asked her why she did cheat on me. She explained we had a very nasty argument back in the day, so she hooked up with someone and it was just one time fling, and she has been loyal to me. She said, you know what, I never understand. You know what, I always say, right? I never understand why when a couple has an argument, why do you need to go out and sleep with somebody? I never could comprehend that behavior. That behavior to me sounds crazy. You don't get angry and go read a book. You don't get angry and go educate yourself any further. Instead, you get angry, go and do some shitty behavior, get pregnant, and then somebody else should not be angry with you. I'm sorry, I never understand that. That sentence right there always pisses me off because women never take the smarter route. Some of them make some foolish ass decisions. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the reality. All right, I'm getting worked up. Calm down. Let's continue. I'm breathing and I'm relaxing. Okay, here we go. She said she had doubts that I wouldn't be the father, but she never took a paternity. She said she was happy seeing me happy and didn't go with the abortion for peace of our family and didn't tell me the truth. I told her I am divorcing her and I don't want to be in our son's life. She started crying and begging me not to break the family, and I'm still his father. And I have been a wonderful father and a husband. I should forgive her and don't let DNA destroy our lives, and started begging me. I immediately left and she was blowing up my phone. I decided at first not to tell anyone else, but in the end, I got very angry and decided to tell everyone. Everyone is pissed at my wife. Now, I have issues with that, to be honest. The reason why I have issues with that is because I don't think it's right to go spreading your business like that, because you're not spreading it in a positive way. You're spreading it in a revengeful way to make her look really bad. And remember, she does have a son. You don't want that coming back to the son, that his feelings could be, hurt very much by something like that. So I think in that instance, you were wrong. If you were telling people to support you in a moment, but to keep it quiet, I think that's fine. But I think to tell the balance of the family or friends, and they all now have an issue or want to, break her down, I think that is a bit wrong on your behalf. Because two wrongs don't make a right. And those wrongs are impacting on the child, on your son. Whether or not you think he's not your son or he isn't your son, for DNA purposes, it's still going to impact on him. So I think you were definitely wrong on that. I don't know what Reddit has to say, but I think you're wrong on that one. Okay, definitely. Her parents said they'd want nothing to do with her, with their daughter, and cut contact. My sister furiously called my soon-to-ex and cursed her out. Her brother and sister, on the other hand, has said I have humiliated her and shouldn't have told everyone and should have kept it between us. I kind of agree. He could have told one or two persons. Yesterday, her sister called me and said I need to take her back and come back for our son. I said I don't have a son. She got angry and started cursing me and said I am a weak, pathetic man. No wonder my wife cheated on me, and I'm so pathetic I had to go behind my wife's back to take paternity cause I am insecure and weak. That I am giving up on my son just because we don't share blood, and I am the reason my wife is alone and depressed. I wouldn't say you're the reason why she's alone and depressed. Her errors are the reason why she's alone and depressed. I do feel that he is your son. I also feel that not because, people adopt children all the time and they love them like their own. Yes, that is an informed decision that they have made. And I know you were deceived into the fact that feeling that that child was yours from birth. But I do feel you do have a responsibility to that child because A, you may have already signed the birth certificate saying that you're the dad, and B, he's known is you as daddy. So to yank yourself out of his life like that is going to be highly, highly detrimental to his own upbringing. So I think you're wrong in that instance. I can understand why the sister will call and yell at you, and have a go in a nasty way. I could understand because she's seeing her sister broken, and she's obviously hearing her sister saying that she is apologetic in terms of what she's done in the past. Okay. I cut her call. Instead, I called her husband and told him everything. I said that the family is full of nut jobs. Maybe it runs in their blood and you should take a paternity as well and don't trust those bitches. He said he's sorry on his wife's behalf and we ended the call. Now I am ignoring all my wife's and that bitch's calls. Okay, so let's see what others have to say. Personally speaking, I wouldn't say you're the a-hole, but I would say you could have handled it a little bit more adult. And I understand that you are hurt. I can understand that. When people are hurt, we do things that makes us look even more stupid. So I understand why you would react that way. But I also think you're very wrong to calling her husband and telling him that he now should check his children to see they're his. You're just making yourself look like an a-hole. No, seriously, I think you shouldn't be doing that. That is wrong on your behalf. You do sound kind of childish as well in order for you to be doing that, because your relationship doesn't reflect on theirs. Her sister is just looking out for her sister. So I think you're wrong in doing that, definitely. So this was posted 4 days ago, by the way. It says, damn crazy how DNA just go around ruining marriages and destroying lives like that. Someone says he's not the a-hole. DNA came into my home once and punched me in the face. It was very rude. Somebody's been an a-hole there. Okay. I feel like we're only hearing one side of the story here. I am sure DNA had a very good reason for doing that. Somebody says, yeah, all those DNA tests, fucking third parties outside the relationship and committing paternity fraud. Someone has to teach them manners and morals. I can understand that too, because you didn't give him an individual choice. You made a decision for him. It would have been better to suffer the consequences then. And what I mean by that is you should have told him and be honest and say, you know what, I messed up. We had a big argument and I did something wrong that I'm completely ashamed of. And that way you're putting him in control of making the decision and then letting him know right off the bat that he may not be the dad. And so he could have been, you know, ready to take on or not ready to take on. But I think she was wrong in that case. She was wrong. All right, so I can't believe she got pregnant doing that. This is what I say. How could you, you know, it's one thing to have an affair, but it's another thing to get pregnant. That tells me you're an idiot. Seriously, idiot. Because with the pregnancy, it's a continuous reminder of your infidelity, of you being an a-hole. Yes, you cheated, but you went above and beyond to hurt your husband. So I don't think he's an a-hole for reacting in his way that he did. Yes, I do feel he's an a-hole for kind of, you know, stepping out on the child. But I also feel that you're an a-hole for trying to set up the sister and her husband. But I understand why you would react that way. I would say take a few days out, take a month out or so. Stay in contact with the child, whether it's a telephone call, and see how you feel. Don't jump back into it immediately. You know, baby steps. You know what I mean? Just baby steps to see how things actually work out. And then take it from there, rather than make a harsh decision that you yourself may regret quickly. Because if you can detach yourself from a child, it makes me kind of wonder, did you ever love that child in the first place? That's the sort of questions I would ask myself. Because you got to be rational. You can't take it out on the child. It wasn't their fault. You've got to think of the baby, and you got to think, you know, whether you want to have something to do with the mother. And if you don't want to be with the mother, that's fine. But I do feel it should be there for that child. Or you can work with her to find the baby's dad. But I would definitely say have a bit of a think about it. Don't make any harsh decisions for now. Would I be the a-hole for divorcing my wife after she cheated after her parents died? This sounds a bit emotional. About a month ago, my wife's parents both died in a car crash. That's horrid news. She has been an emotional mess. We live in her hometown, so we have been seeing her family and friends often. I've been supportive any way I can. I've taken care of all house chores and I've been there for her every day. Here's where things get messy. She has an ex. Oh boy. When you see the ex comes into play, that's when things always goes wrong. Let's call him Luke. Luke is not just her ex. Luke is still friends with her and her first love. Whoa, so that's a lot on her shoulders to consider. They were high school sweethearts, wow. And Luke was almost like another child to her parents. Okay, wow. The background alone is telling you that things were bound to happen. The background alone. This is deep already. This is deep already. And Luke was almost like another child to her parents. The death of her parents affected Luke a lot too. Honestly, I didn't initially like the fact that they were friends, but I trust my wife and moved on from that feeling. Fair enough. Okay. Few days ago, my wife said she was going to go out with her family. I told her I could go with her, but she insisted on going alone. She didn't come back until the next morning? What the hell? I tried to call her and call her family members, but no one knew where she was. No, she planned it. I'm sorry, I'm making prejudgment. When she did come back, she was a mess. I asked her where she was all night. Let's grab some water because, hoi, hoi! She told me she fucked up and fucked up so much. I tried to calm her down and told her to just tell me what happened and that it's okay. You didn't expect that to come that year, did ya? That's my dogs snoring in the background, so I beg your forgiveness. She can talk to me. She said she slept with Luke. I didn't react much, really? Why? How good of you. I mean, you're better than me. I told her I need some time to think. She has apologized so many times. I did eventually ask her what happened. She said she met up with Luke and they were both a mess. So you see, this is what I'm saying. Listen, I'm getting hot. I got to cool myself down because this story is just crazy. And this is what I said previously. Why will women do these things? You cannot go take a course. You cannot go write your feelings down in a book. Why would you go and fuck up your life like this? Why? I understand that we all go through detrimental things, but still in that moment, you are making a decision. You are. Whether or not you think you're not. Whether or not you think it's your feelings that's taken over, you are still making a decision because as adults, we know right from wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting fired up. Plus, it's making me warm. Okay. They both were drinking and it just happened. Nothing just happened. We know when we go down certain routes, things tend to happen. So I think you really need to take some responsibility here. I am so conflicted right now. My wife is probably going through the worst time in her life, but I don't think I want to be with her now. I am furious at her. Dude, I don't blame you. I too would be furious. To be honest, she should have been reaching out to you. You are her husband. She should be asking herself, well, why didn't she go ahead and marry Luke in the first place if it was so brilliant? You know, doesn't Luke have a wife? I'm sorry. I think they both probably met up to talk and then things happened. But I think she still make a decision. That is my opinion. Are you the a-hole for wanting to divorce her? No, because cheating is still cheating, and I think she made an informed decision. She may have been going through a crisis, yes, but in that moment when she started kissing, she knew she was doing wrong. I'm sorry, I'm on your side, dude. I don't think you're an a-hole at all. I don't think so. Anyway, let's see what Reddit has to say. Honestly, her saying no to you coming makes me seem pre-planned. You see what I'm saying? I knew it. It was pre-planned. Now she's feeling guilty. And to stay out all night. I mean, I could never imagine staying out all night and then coming in next month telling my husband, are you mad? I mean, I'm sure I'll be met with a locked door. And I don't blame him because if he does that to me, the keys, everything would be changed. Because I don't understand. Next person say, right, if I'm grieving, I would want the person I love the most to come and... Exactly! That's what I'm saying. She should have wanted her husband. Why would you go to somebody else? It doesn't make sense. Listen, I have been through grief, you know, so I can understand feeling empty and lost. But I didn't go cheating on my husband. I went to him. Or if I didn't feel like talking, I kept it to myself. I spoke to the mirror. Listen, the mirror is very good at listening. She decided Luke is that person. Exactly. She decided that Luke is a person that she wanted to talk to. Okay? This, to me, was just outright cheating. She claimed she was meeting her family. Again, she lied. Refused her husband to come with her because she had plans. Okay? And ghosted him all night. Yep. That's it. It was planned. Dude, you are not the a-hole. Divorce that lady, because it is the start of something with her and Luke. You may think it is just the one time. Well, it couldn't be in the one time for all you know. And this is what happens. Then you start questioning yourself. Because when these things happen, you go round and round and round and round and round in your head, kind of thinking, well, did this actually happen? Did it happen before? Am I left in the dark here? So you're not the a-hole. And I think you are right for asking yourself those kind of questions. All right, now this one is interesting. Okay, so I'm just reading the headline here, and this one is interesting. Would I be the a-hole for refusing to raise my husband's affair children now that he and the woman he cheated with passed away? No, you're not. I know that sounds cold, and I'm making a decision right off the bat. But no, you're not. And it's not the kid's fault, but no, you're not. No, but let's see what Reddit has to say. Okay. I don't want to risk... No. Okay, she says, sorry for using a new account. I know that's a red flag, but I don't want to risk using my old Reddit account. I can see why. Me, 45 female, husband 49 male of 23 years, had an affair with a 20 years old girl since 2020. I found out this year when his affair partner gave birth to twin boys in March. Obviously, we were going to divorce. We've been hashing things out since. It's been a lengthy process due to some properties in common, and we needed to get an account since he used the shared account for his affair. Finally, things seem to be getting close to the end, and when both my husband and the woman he cheated with were killed in a car crash, so the husband died in the car crash. Okay. By some miracle, the twin babies were not harmed in the crash. Now that they are orphaned and neither set of grandparents can take them in permanently. My husband's parents are both in assisted living. He has no siblings, and the only aunt that could take them refuses. She's been child-free her whole life. On the woman's side, I'm not sure the details in full, but her parents are not also able to be involved long-term, and the one sister she has lives overseas. This is sad. This is very sad. Since he was still married and he had not updated his will, all his assets are said to pass to me and our 2 children. I am not callous enough to leave those babies with nothing, so I agreed to let whoever is their legal guardian have the remaining balance in the shared account, about $25,000 in savings. When you're a generous lady. The issue is no one wants to take them now. Now my in-laws are pressuring me to take them in and raise them. That is a bit much. That is a bit much. I am not sure for myself personally if I can do that, because it will be a constant reminder of the infidelity and the way that he died. So obviously when he died, he was obviously cheating because he was with her and the kids. That's a tough one. That's a really, really, really tough one. The issue is I don't want to at all. I wouldn't love them, and I don't want to be the evil stepmother. I think that's fair. But I know a big part of me will always have a level of resentment towards them. That's very true. I will probably favor my own children. That is true. So I think rather than taking them on and ill-treating them, let them go to hopefully a family that loves them for who they are, rather than a constant negative reminder. I mean, I don't think you're the a-hole, but I would continue reading. It is not their fault, but I truly loved my husband and I thought we were happy before I found out about the affair. We have 2 daughters, 14 and 16. Obviously, we had disagreements, but never insulted each other before. Then I found out about the affair and he began calling me names and blaming me for his cheating. He became abusive and even tried to kick me out of the home, my childhood home that is not a shared property. For the record, I also raising teenagers alone. I don't have the energy to raise babies anymore. I think that is really fair. I don't think you're the a-hole, love. I really don't. My daughters hate their baby brothers. Of course they will, because again, it's a reminder of why dad was such an a-hole when he was alive. I tried to get them to spend time with their dad as we were divorcing, but they refused. Since this all was found out because of the babies, there wasn't really a way to sugarcoat the situation. And they are also old enough to really get away with it. Of course, you can't lie to them. You know, they are 14 and 16. They need to know. Most of my friends agree it's not my place to care for those children. But my in-laws, the affair woman's parents, and my mother want to see me raise them. No. Most of my friends agree it's not my place to care for those children. But my in-laws, the affair woman's parents, and my mother want me to raise them. It is not your responsibility. I know my mum is just having grandkids fever, but it hurts to not have her support. I have to make a decision by next week or the boys will be going to foster care. At the moment, they are temporarily placed with their maternal grandparents. I feel horrible, but I am very sure I can't take them in. Would I be the a-hole if I refuse to take them? No. She's given us an update. Hi everyone. This blew up far more than I thought, and I would appreciate the well wishes for my girls, the boys and myself, also the amount of lovely people offering to see about giving the twins to a good home. I might not be their mother, but it does touch me and makes me glad that there's good people out there. After thinking carefully and speaking to my lawyer, reading responses, doing research, etc., I plan to speak to the grandparents tomorrow and refuse to take legal guardianship, well done, of the boys. I will let them know of the usernames of people that offered meeting for private adoptions or fostering. But my daughters are my priority. Very true. It will be up to the twins' grandparents to decide if they will proceed with an adoption, keep them, or turn them to the state. I wish I had the mental capacity to be the person to do this, but I have 2 girls and they are going through a lot and they need my full attention. You are absolutely right. I will also be talking to the lawyers to figure out if the boys have any inheritance claim properly. If they do, I'll separate it and leave it to the lawyers to do what they need to do for them to have access when it's best. If they don't, I'll find a way to ensure they have access to the 25k I was going to give them since the beginning. That's very, very nice of you. I won't do more. However, my moral compass might be biased, but I don't believe I'm obligated neither morally or legally to do more than what the word of the law says. Very true. Because you're not their mother. To be honest, you're not their mother. You're just a woman who was married to their father. That's the reality. I can't help everyone, and I shouldn't have to. I have 2 girls that lost their father, 2 girls that need therapy, 2 girls just to get to college. They've gone through enough without seeing their mother favor the children, their father's mistress. That's very, very true. You know, having to see those children every day, they're going to resent them, you know, and they will resent their mother for actually taking them in. There's another update. Hey everyone. So as I said 2 nights ago, I went yesterday to speak to the twins' grandparents. I explained my position and refused to take guardianship over the boys. My mother-in-law almost slapped me when I said that. How dare she? How dare she? But thankfully, this was all done in a public place and my father-in-law stopped her. If she feels that pushed to do that to you, probably she should take them whether or not she can. Why should you bear the responsibility of your dead husband's affair? That's wrong of her. That's wrong of her. I'm sorry. That's really wrong of her. The maternal grandparents kept pleading for me to raise them since they don't want to lose them. I kept saying no, and when they called me selfish, I lost it. Oh my gosh, human beings, the audacity of these people to expect you to take on that responsibility. But you know what it tells me? Do you know what they're saying? F you and your feelings. That is what they're saying. They're saying, we don't give a damn about your feelings right now. We need you to shove it down the throat, forget what happened with your husband, and take care of these children. No. No, you don't you dare do that. Don't you dare do that. I told them to their face, the only selfish people in the mess were them and their son and their daughter. Their son, my husband, for cheating and then making the divorce hell on me and my girls. Their daughter, because she was a whore, and I used another word. I could imagine. I think I probably would have used more. That went after a married man twice her age. I told them if I heard from them again, I would request a cease and desist, and I would also inform my parents-in-law they won't have access to my daughters for the foreseeable future. I'll explain why in a bit. We were at a restaurant, but I didn't stay for the meal. I also sent an email to my lawyer so he can ensure CPS and any agency involved in the welfare of the twins is aware. I am not going to be their guardian or be involved. Then I sent an email to my in-laws with all the usernames and websites from people here in Reddit that have offered to do interviews for the twins' adoption. I won't be involved beyond this point, so please, as lovely as it is, I can't help you if you are interested in the boys. Yesterday was the end of my involvement. As for my in-laws, won't see my girls. I spoke to my daughters and they decided to find out about their thoughts before I went to meet their grandparents. My youngest refused to speak to me, which I found out of place for her. My eldest asked for just the 2 of us to speak. That's when she explained that my in-laws had been going on about how the girls need to get to go to public school instead of private school and to get jobs right out of high school, since I will have to provide the twins with private schooling and college money. Oh my gosh. Apparently, they also were told to start moving their stuff to share a room. My girls have separate rooms since the twins need more space. How dare they? What the hell am I reading? Are people that self-centered? So they hold no responsibility in the account of their son's behavior and expect their daughter-in-law to carry the burden. Why? Why? Totally wrong. This was not known to me, mostly because that would never happen. Apparently, my in-laws have been basically bullying the girls because the babies take priority. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't blame you, lady. I don't blame you at all. I told the girls that their grandparents have no say in where they go to school, their college funds, or how the rooms are set in our house. Also, that I do agree they could use a part-time job during college and maybe a scholarship, but their tuition will be paid. I told them not to blame the babies for their stupidity of the adults. Very true. That's very good of you also. They told me they understand, but they still don't want to interact with their brothers for now. That's fair, because they are very much hurting and they feel betrayed by what their dad did. So it's understandable. It's really shocking to me that the grandparents cannot see that, and they should really be appalled by their son's behavior. That for now part gives me hope that they'll get through things. For now, we're going to do some changes in the house. The girls and I both don't like. There's still an office space that my husband used. I would have gotten rid of it. We're going to make it into a gaming room for all of us. I plan to take down some pictures of my husband in them and put them in the album for the girls. Fair enough. We just want to make the house more ours. That's fair. It's a shame, though, that he has left behind a negative legacy of a constant reminder of him treating his family so detrimental, to be honest, so bad, so evil, you know. So people wondering why my girls wanted nothing to do with their father. My daughters were the ones that discovered the affair. Oh boy, that's a tough one. And told me when my husband took them to meet the twins at the hospital. He asked them to keep it a secret, but my girls told me. What a shit of a man. After that, my husband began treating them horribly too. He burnt all the bridges with the girls. This is an appalling story. A terrible story. My gosh. I spoke to my lawyer on Monday. The boys have no inheritance claim until the DNA test is done. After that, their only claim is against my in-laws. Wow. The shared account is not considered my husband's individual property, so it's mine. Same with the lake house. Since he had a personal savings account and a life insurance, which went to his parents, that will be the only thing the boys could claim. Obviously, this can be changed if it goes to trial, but the lawyer told me with how little my husband left my girls and I, there's very little chance a judge would demand our assets. The lawyer also recommended me completing the idea of sharing the money with the boys. That could be used against me in the claim that, I'm taking fiscal responsibility for them and should be considered. Oh, girl, that lawyer is smart. That is a very fair comment. Wow. You see how your kindness can punish you? It's a good thing she spoke to him about it. I'm dividing the money from the shared account for my daughter's college tuitions. I'm still unsure if I'll sell the lake house or not, but neither the girls nor I are attached to it. Now, please leave me alone about the boys' inheritance. Sad as it is, my husband's messed up everything for his children. I'm not responsible for them, nor do I have to sacrifice my assets to set them up for life. That's true. Another update. There's some good news for some annoying views. The good news is that the boys were safely received by CPS from the maternal grandparents and will be placed in foster care until the permanent arrangement is made. I found out when it happened, since their grandparents and mother came to scream to me at work. In all honesty, I'm glad this happened at work and not at home. It's made me consider moving since I don't want my daughters exposed to any of this. An annoyance I had very soon after I was getting a call about my inquiries into fostering and adopting. Apparently, my information was sent to CPS as someone interested in fostering. The twins eventually adopted. I immediately explained the situation between the grandparents and me, and the operator was speechless at first. She apologized for the situation and told me she would make sure I was not bothered about the process. I also got served this morning. My in-laws are suing my grandparents' rights for grandparents' rights. They are all right because the grandparents is not allowed to see the children. They are also suing for custody. Oh, please. They couldn't take care of babies, but now they want your teenage daughters. Please. Apparently, they are planning to leave their assisted living, which they really shouldn't, to buy a house that allows kids to get the twins back and also want custody of their daughters, of her daughters. Oh, please, lady. These grandparents are just pushing their luck. My personal lawyer immediately gave me some instructions I won't share to safeguard myself and my daughters from such risk during a possible custody battle. But they are old enough though. I mean, one is 16, one is 14. They will obviously have some kind of informed decision to say whether or not they want to be with their mother or their grandparents. I cannot see a judge not asking them that, to be honest, because they won't be teenagers for long at all, Myla and I both suspect my in-laws want the girls to be parentified, them as caretakers for the twins, since my in-laws have mobility limitations. It will be a cold day in hell before that happens. Wow. So they are planning to get custody of the girls so that they can look after the twins. I guess the apple didn't fall far from the tree with the husband and the parents, isn't it? Because they don't seem like nice people. Not all is bad news. I'm starting therapy next week, and my eldest daughter is once again speaking about college she wants to go to. We still haven't really talked about their father or have them agree to visit his grave. I myself haven't gone there, and I'm trying really hard to get used to not calling him my husband anymore. I had nothing to do with the funeral plans aside paying bills. From what I heard, his parents had the responsibility. Devoted and beloved husband, father and son written on it. I found it a joke. I know it's bad to hold on to such anger and resentment, but as soon as I have time, I plan to change the tombstone to remove husband and father. Whoa. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I hope your heart heals, but I wouldn't go that far. At the end of the day, he's still their father and he was your husband. That's the truth. He may not have been a devoted husband, but he was your husband. It might sound pretty petty, but I refuse to speak well of a cheater and abuser just because he's dead. And that's truthful also. My daughters deserve better, and so do I. And for anyone complaining about me changing the tombstone, I paid for everything at the end. So stick your comments to yourself or where it don't belongs. I don't think I'll post another update until the whole mess with the grandparents' right lawsuit is resolved. So the kind of people that have sent support to me with my daughters, thank you so much. Maybe I'll have good news in the future. But for now, I'm going back to my old Reddit account. This was a really, really tough one. But let's see what Reddit has to say. I don't think you're the a-hole. To be honest, I think you handled that very well. I would have just said no outright and not entertained the conversation at all. But you did better than me. No, you are not the a-hole here. And as infants, the babies will likely find adopted parents quickly. Very true. As far as your mother-in-law and father-in-law, they have no business expecting you to spend the next 2 decades raising your cheating spouse's children. Absolutely not. As callous as it sounds, either place them or private adoption if your state allows it, or public adoption. Then get on with raising your daughters and dealing with whatever grief you have regarding his death. I totally agree. A lot of people is agreeing with her and what she's actually decided to do and saying she's not the a-hole. Well, I think I will leave it there today, guys. So thank you for joining me on this Reddit stories. These were some really interesting ones. But subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye.